Hi first graders, how have you been enjoying I Sang a Song to Spring? In this great story, it's really like a poem, isn't it? There's so many parts of the story that jump out at me to say someone is expressing how they feel about spring. And we can see that in so many ways throughout the story. Yesterday, we looked at some vocab words, but we really didn't do much with them apart from sounding them out. We noticed that the double F sound was in puff and daffodils, and there was a k and an sound in trickling. So we've got flip, flop, trickling, daffodils, blanket, puff. Let's go through the story and find those words in context, because if we don't use them within a sentence, then they're not going to make as much sense. Let's infer what we think the word daffodils could mean. I sang a song to spring. My song said, "Grow, daffodils, grow." Okay. Grow. That really helps me understand what daffodils are. When something grows, I know that it has to be a plant, or a person, or an animal, and so I'm going to infer that daffodils are a type of flower. My flip-flops sang a song to summer. They said, "Flip-flop, flip-flop." This might be a little bit trickier if you don't know what flip-flops are. But we can work out that they're hers. My flip-flops. They're something that she has. Well, this is not a flip-flop. We know that nothing else on her is called a flip-flop, so it's probably the type of shoes that she's wearing. We call those flip-flops because of the sound that they make. Summer sang a song to me. It was a song of trickling, drips, and drops. Trickling. I wonder what the word trickling could mean. Let's read that one more time. It was a song of trickling, drips, and drops. So it's something to do with drips and drops. You may have heard trickling before, like when a tap or a faucet is trickling. And drips and drops helps us know that that's what happens with water. A trickling is like when water gently dribbles down. It's not like when it flows or just a drip, but it trickles down in maybe 3 or 4 drops at a time. In the fall, the wind sang a song to me. It said, "Puff, puff, puff." Well, straight away this is telling us puff, puff, puff is the sound that the wind makes. And that makes it really obvious because it says that. So we know that puff, puff, puff could be what the girl thinks the wind is saying back to her. And finally, let me see if there's any other words. Winter was resting under a blanket of snow. Okay, it's something to do with the snow because it's connected with snow. Blanket of snow. Well, we know that we can't really have a blanket of snow, so we're guessing that blanket must mean in this term it reminds her of a blanket, but it's not really actually a blanket. The word blanket is also, remember, it means what you use on your bed. So blanket of snow must be what's being covered. Throughout this story, there's a lot of repetition. That means that she says almost on every page, I sang a song to spring. Spring sang a song back to me. So she's singing to spring. Spring is singing back to her. You can spell my if you try. M-Y, M-Y. First an M and then a Y. Oh, my, my, my. You can spell my if you try. M-Y, M-Y. First an M and then a Y. Oh, my, my, my. Was. I spell was W-A-S. I spell was W-A-S. I spell was W-A-S. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, I guess. I spell was W-A-S. I spell was W-A-S. I spell was W-A-S. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, I guess. 2. 2 is written with a T and then an O. 2, 2. 2 is written with a T and then an O. 2, 2. First you make a T, then you make it O. 2 is written with the T and then an O. 2, 2. This one's like a selfish little child. I can spell me, M-E-M-E, me, M-E-M-E. I can spell me, M-E-M-E, me, M-E-M-E. Rock and roll. So, you can see that the characters in the story are quite different. It says, I sang a song to Spring. So she's singing to Spring, and Spring sang a song back to me. Well, this is unlike anything we've ever read, because who are the characters in this story? I would say that the main character is the girl, but the other characters are what? They're not people. She's pretending that the other characters in the story are the seasons, like the wind in winter and in fall, the rain in spring, the flip-flops in summer, the leaves, the trees. She's pretending that all those different things are characters in this story. So that's called personification. When you turn turn something not real into a person for the sake of a fun poem. Finally, let's take a look at some word endings. We can see that if we have the word k, I, k, and we add ing, what do we get? Here we have trickle, and we add ing, what do we get? Lift and ed, rest and ing, drop and s. What do you think? Here you can see kicking, kicking, trickling, trickling, lifted, lifted, resting, resting, drops, drops. But there's one thing we need to point out. When you see this, you may notice that it's different. Trickle had an E. Well, what happened to it in the word trickling? It's gone. Are you looking back and forth? Where did it go? We lost it. Well, that's because of a little rule. When a word ends with E and we add ing, we drop the E, add ing. Drop the E, ing, and we get trickling without an E. That was a squeaky sound. Okay, first graders, it's now your turn to go and read I Sang a Song to Spring. See if you notice the characters. The characters are now imaginary things like wind and not imaginary. They're personified. Do you notice the words and spellings? Do you notice all the different things that we've talked about? Happy reading!